you know that guy?
Greetings, fellow motorcycle enthusiasts, fellow motorcycle riders, or just random vloggers and people wandering through on the YouTubes. It's Jedz here, and today I've got the old and trusty Shoto's FZ6. This is a 2009. Last year of the FZ6, I just spruced it up. It came to my shop. It was having a problem firing on 1 and 4, as most flat plane inline 4 cylinders from Japan. 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 share the same coil, so 1 and 4 coil wasn't sparking. We replaced the coil. Didn't fix the issue. We then decided to try other things. We just checked out the wiring and stuff. Shoto couldn't really figure it out. I ended up taking it off his hands and brought it to my shop, trailered it in, and did the whole diagnosis. Diagnosed the cutoff switch circuit. That was fine. There was definitely went through everything, and it sorted out to be the ECU, and I replaced the ECU, and now we're running a 2006 FZ6 ECU in this 09. It's got lower miles. I think it came with a bike with like 14,000 miles. This bike currently has 57,920 miles. So we're going to go take a little spin today on this Gen 2 FZ6, the last year they made them. And his clutch is just so high. It's just how he sets it. I'm not going to change it because I know what it's like when you have your motorcycle set a certain way and someone goes around and there's a jackwagon and tries it out, messes things up. So I'm not really sure. The ECU's probably got a little bit of programming and thinking. I just swapped out the ECU. We're firing all 4 cylinders now. So I gotta give it to you, the FZ6 is probably one of the best 600 bikes on the market. I'm gonna say the 600, the FZ6 is probably one of the best beginner motorcycles because it's very docile, especially if you keep it below 6,000 RPM. Shoto has not done anything to his bike other than just routine maintenance, it's a completely stocked FZ6, and it's really quite docile. Right down here, I'm at 4,000 RPM, and yeah, you got a little bit of a pull, but the bike really, it doesn't really have like increased crazy amounts of power. And it's a good thing about these bikes. It makes it such a great beginner bike, but also a bike that you can kind of graduate and keep forever. Is that once you start playing with the power band, bringing it up to like 10,000 RPM, it like has power. It's running very good right now, very smooth. So it's got the Yamaha FZ6 Gen 2 R6 engine, so just like the FZ6 I had and I bought and rebuilt over the winter. This guy is the same engine. They have a little difference on the 09s versus like my old 04. Mainly subframe's different. Your swing arm is aluminum on this guy. It was a steel swing arm on the 04s up to 05, and I think even the 06s had steel swing arms. This guy's got an aluminum swing arm. It also has Euro 4 cats, which is like, doesn't matter anyways, but it's got actually a pretty in-depth twin catalyzer on this pipe, which actually gives the bike a little bit more torque, but they really didn't do anything to add more power. But it's definitely a little more grunty than you would get like your 06 or before FZ6s. Very peppy, very quick little bike. And it's just one of those bikes that you can really just own for a very long time, and it's super easy to maintain. The engine itself is just bomb-proof. It's not going to blow. This thing will not pop a, blower rod or anything like that. I mean, these engines just last long forever and ever, and the bike's over-engineered, and then it's detuned, the R6 detuned engine, so the motor's never actually stressed out. Just runs like it's just a great little bike. And I've always liked the FZ6s. Shoto is one of my other friends, Henry, who's got an 06 FZ6, and these guys have, between the two of them, have well over 130,000 miles on their motorcycles. So on FZ6s, and that's why I have so much experience with them, as I've helped them do everything on these things. And they're just so easy to work on. They're great bikes to own, and they just last forever. I love this engine. Tell me to upshift. Fuel economy. Shoto also put some heated grips on this thing. Great aftermarket on this bike. And the thing is, it's a competent little sport tour. It's just gonna run and run and run no matter what you do with it. And they're just happy little bikes, man. They're really fantastic motorcycles. And I mean, the bargain is just crazy. Aftermarket for these are actually in high demand just because of the success of the FZ09 and the FZ07 or MT09, MT07. People are looking for that genre standard motorcycle. And now the FZ6 is kind of like seeing a price increase in the used market. To get a Gen 2 FZ6, you know, you've got your beautiful dial, gauge, clock, instrumentation. This is just a great gauge cluster. This kind of bike's gonna honestly get you around $3,500, which is actually a really good deal. It's fuel injected. Most offerings don't have this many miles on them, and they just go, and they're super quick little motorcycles. The transmission is so good on this bike. And they handle, so good. Shoto, I like this bike, Shoto's FZ6. I got a lot of saddle time on this one. And he's also got the touring seat or whatever, the comfort seat. I mean, it's not that much more comfortable than the stock one, but the stock one's pretty bad. So, it helps. Some things to note about on this motorcycle too, keep an eye out, is your clutch cable. These guys tend to eat cables a lot. It's just because of how this bend is and the short length on the actual clutch lever, on the clutch cover. There's that linkage bar that goes down and actuates the clutch. That little lever is a little short, so it's kind of a hard pull. And it really adds a lot of stress on the clutch. And if you're doing a lot of clutching, especially in the city and stuff, you can actually heat the cable up to the point of it like kind of falling apart. So definitely keep an eye on a clutch when you get one of these bikes. Clutch cables are really, you know, kind of one of those things you don't want to have go on you. It's never fun to lose your clutch on a ride. That's the other thing, these bikes handle ridiculously well. Guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for joining me on a ride on Shoto's tried and trusty, old and true Yamaha FZ6. If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to try to get some more motorcycles to ride for you guys. I've got the FJ09. It's in the shop. It's going It's completely in pieces right now. So hopefully I'll be making a video about that very soon. I also have another surprise! I've got another motorcycle going in. I did sell the VMAX. It's a little sad, but it's going to a great home with a great owner. Shout out to James. Keep it shiny side up with that friggin' thing, bud. And for the rest of you cats, keep it shiny side up out there. Hit the